No child should log on to a computer and as a result have to face abuse, exploitation, or abduction. And therefore, we must do everything in our power to protect our children against online predators.
I'm all for protecting children against online predators. I think most people would be, other than that bizarre outburst by Justin Trudeau, who said he was considering removing mandatory minimum sentences for child predators. But is this bill introduced yesterday by Peter MacKay truly about protecting kids? Or does it have a bunch of legal stowaways embedded within the bill, things that the government wants to pass into law without talking about it? Well, joining us in person to talk about this is our friend Chris Shaper of the Canadian Constitution Foundation. Chris, great to see you again.
Thanks, Ezra.
I call you a civil liberties public interest lawyer because
Correct.
You're looking out for our true civil liberties, freedom of speech, rule of law, things of that sort.
Privacy.
Privacy, very important. Now, the idea of protecting kids from genuine predators is one that we all agree on. But I read through this bill briefly, and there are a lot of things in here that have got nothing to do with kids at all.
I think the analysis I saw was about 2.5 pages dealing with cyberbullying and 60 some odd pages dealing with lawful access or online surveillance.
Yeah, lawful access, that's just a fancy way of saying spying on folks.
Online spying.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. I looked at the law, I had the same reaction you did, and I saw all this talk about tracking devices. Huh? What's that? And I just did a word search. You know, you can search.
Correct,
and dozens of mentions of tracking devices. I mean, here you can take a look at one on the screen right now, including giving police the warrants to put a tracking device and covertly on a person or a thing or a computer device. I mean, that's what this law's about: tracking people, tracking devices. The word hate propaganda, Chris,
it appears
as
there.
in censorship, the kind of stuff we like to fight against. Hate propaganda is mentioned in this bill 12 times. I don't know exactly what it means, but it looks to me like they're beefing up the legal censorship powers.
The Supreme Court recently, in that case, the Whatcott case, okayed the hate speech provision federally. Well, the government doesn't take much time. Boy, they really jump on it, and now they're using it as it appears to expand the powers with respect to hate in this country. So they didn't wait very long, Ezra, to jump in there and expand the provisions there.
Yeah, you know what bugs me about it? I mean, if there is some thoughtful, incremental addition to the criminal law to take care of snapping intimate pictures of a teenage girl and then putting them online and bullying her to death or extorting her, as often happens, okay, fine. If there is a narrow remedy for a narrow problem that has emerged because of selfies on, little phone photos.
The first thing I would say is the criminal code has a whole bunch of provisions that already can be used to
extortion,
combat
blackmail.
You name it, Ezra. There's dozens of them that could be used to deal with cyberbullying. So the first part is we don't really need this law.
That's a good point.
But politicians want to be seen to be doing something.
Yeah.
So okay, accept that fact. They're going to do something about cyberbullying. But don't sneak in a whole bunch of provisions about online spying into this bill. Their backgrounder on the piece of proposed legislation doesn't even mention any of the online spying provisions. Yeah. And the Canadian Constitution Foundation, along with about 40 other organizations, are part of the openmedia.ca pro-privacy coalition. And we're out there along with other groups from every side of the political spectrum challenging the invasion of privacy that this bill proposes to bring in through the back door again.
Now, I know there are some hard left-wing groups that hate the police and hate surveillance and hate our security services no matter what, because frankly, some of them are actually on the side of terrorists. I want you to give me, in a nutshell, the liberty-loving, pro-freedom, even the conservative case to oppose this bill. Go.
Sure. The argument I would make is anytime you give government or a government agency or department the power to do something, even if it's for good reason, for example, the protection of safety or protecting our children, which I agree, we both agree, well, we all agree is a very valuable goal. But given that power, watch it be used for other ulterior uses 5, 10, 15 years down the road. And what I'm scared this is going to do is this has nothing to do with protecting children or online or preventing online bullying. This is everything to do with sneaking in through the back door, the ability of police authorities to survey you and I as we go about our business. And we've already had revelations in the U.S. from Snowden about the massive and rampant surveillance of law-abiding citizens in the U.S. And I'm afraid that's being imported into Canada through this bill.
That's a great point. That system was called PRISM, and it just hoovered up every single phone call, email, Facebook post, It just took it all.
It's why
stored it all.
Every Canadian, either left wing, right wing, middle of the road, it doesn't matter. We all should be very concerned about this particular bill.
Yeah, I believe that police ought to have the power to have surveillance on a suspect.
With
they
a
go
warrant.
go to court, get a search warrant, and say, hey, judge, I got these reasons why you should let me break the laws of privacy with regards to this individual. But to bring these, I mean, to put a tracking device on someone covertly?
You know what's scary too in this bill provides? Is immunity, both civil and criminal, for an ISP, an internet service provider, to just give information to police authorities. They've made, the bill makes them immune from civil or criminal prosecution for giving out basic information about me as a subscriber to the internet service.
You know, we've seen that in the States where the U.S. government gives millions, maybe it's billions now. They pay Google, they pay Yahoo, they pay Facebook to get direct access to all their data on you. I think, you know, if we're going to bring in this new surveillance state, let us do so wittingly. Let us do so with a full and open debate so we actually know what we're doing. I'm opposed to the full surveillance state of innocent individuals. I mean, talk about your racial profiling. How about profiling the whole damn country just on a hunch? I don't believe in warrantless searches and seizures. But if we're going to have it, let's have a debate about it. Let's not try and sneak it through pretending this is about, you know, Rehtaeh Parsons and what happened to her. That is a fib at best. I'm glad you're fighting for liberty, and it's not just the lefties there. I'm glad a conservative like you is. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Ezra.